celebrated. He's going to... it's all over! Clare are the All-Ireland champions once again! Champions in 95, champions in 97. They've beaten Tipperary twice in the same championship season. What a championship! They beat Cork, they beat Tip, they beat Kilkenny. They've come back and they've done it again in the All-Ireland Final. They were in a tight corner when Tip got those goals, but they are absolutely thrilled and delighted. They've won by the minimum. It's Clare 20 points, Tipperary 2 goals and 13, just 1 point between the teams after a magnificent All-Ireland Final. Clare will celebrate, I'm sure, for a long, long time now. And we've got Marty Morrissey.
Sherlock Nan, probably your proudest moment.
Well, the first thing I'm thinking about now, would you believe, is Len Gaynor, you know, because I know Len so well, and to see the disappointment in his face going after, I genuinely feel really sorry for him, because he was a great friend to play and a great friend of mine for 2 years, and somebody had to lose today in what was, without doubt, the greatest game of hurling I have ever seen. An epic, epic All-Ireland final of real quality hurling. And those people who said before the game that it'd be a dirty game and to be a physical game were totally wrong. This was epic hurling at its very, very best. Hurling was the real winner. I know we've the cup going home. I'm not going to go over even to the Hogan stand, you can see, because I'm in such a state of shock after the quality of the game. It was hurling beyond belief.
But for Clare to beat Tipperary twice in the 1 year, it is extra special.
Nothing to do with it. There's nothing to do with it right now. That has nothing to do with it. All that has to do with it now is the quality of the game of hurling we're after seeing. The Clare one is great. We went out calmly and coolly. We came back from this 5 points down. There's another day to reflect on that. But for now, I'm just reflecting on what we're after seeing here. The greatest, I would say, the greatest game of hurling I have ever seen. An epic, epic All-Ireland final. And what a game hurling is. And I'm delighted this game is going out all over the world so that people can see just what this mighty game of hurling has to offer. There is no game in the world like the game of hurling.
Sherlock Nan, congratulations.
Yes, an absolutely delighted Sherlock Nan. And I'm sure the lovely Rose of Clare will be getting a lash from Tony Considine very shortly. Well, these Clare fans here, they were saying in the build-up to this that this year, because of the success in 95 and the acute disappointment the year afterwards when they lost to Limerick. There's Jim McNamara in there, by the way, Jim McInerney rather, former Clare star, so many Clare stars. But the fans, I think, were anticipating that nothing less than All-Ireland success was what they wanted. And Anthony Daly has delivered. He gets married at the end of the week. He takes the cup today. Probably one of the proudest moments in his young life. The Taoiseach is there. So too Joe McDonagh, the president of the GAA. As Sherlock Nan says, it was epic stuff. Only a cynic, I think, could find fault with anything that we've witnessed and enjoyed this afternoon. Marvellous entertainment. Committed play by players who don't get a penny for playing this great game. Noel Welsh there, the Munster Council, Clareman as well, already celebrating.
And Erin, agus at Fulham down. Elwood son, Maroktaran Common Law Class Scale. But William, Buachas on Common, a Corinol, Don Da Erin, a Hoxar Haspanta Samaniakta. Skillen the Stadula on Clifford doing in Yov. The Conde and Claude against the Hebradarin, Goramila Mahagiv. Colgorjaka Specialta, Le Conde and Claude. La Stadul Dove Shoot. Go Crave na Heron, Crave na Minor, August Crave na Shinchin, a Dolhar Shana, Go Conde and Claude. But William, Buachas Specialta, a Gaval Le Coloch Guinness, as of the Dakiach, the Gasanyanaklam and Shaw, Tasturhod Banishtiachta, Sean Halliday. Buachas Homa, Lishon Maltor, Richard Maraho, August Namair, a Cowrie Lane, and Emokti and Lane Yov. I had Jerry here, Buachas oncoming, the Loch Leanona, Common Law Class Scale, a Hoktakiach Dar Vornia, August Dar Nimrodi Intacha, Eric Neblena. Marshin, Gana Heliamulia, and on Lost Stadul Shot on Amaniak, Brunnen, Karan Vikarhi, Captain Bogach on
Joe McDonagh makes a rousing speech. Anthony Daly takes back the Liam McCarthy Cup. Clare are the champions. Champions of Ireland once again. What a magnificent day for them. Young and old will celebrate a famous victory. Just a point in it. But what a game. And they'll always remember it.
Taoiseach, walked around coming Luke Lascale. Pana son down Orm. On Curran Liam McCarrig Shaw. There's on Burnham Money, Ascundi and Clare. It gives me great pleasure and no little honour to accept this Liam McCarthy Cup on behalf of the people of the Banner County. It is indeed fitting that in this year of 1997, the 150th anniversary of the birth of another great Clareman, the great Michael Cusack, that we accept this cup. '97 will also be remembered as a historic year. It was the year of the All-Munster Final. We have always respected your tradition and your great list of honour. But today, we're delighted. Your great tradition and your list of honours. But today we are delighted that we can finally compete on an even level. If all the people that were due thanks by me were thanked, we'd be here all week, and we need to get back to Innis. But a special mention for our sponsor, Pat O'Donnell and the Clare County Board. To all our medical people who helped us throughout the year, but especially to Colin Flynn and Dr. Padraig Quinn. To the wider panel of players, it just wasn't 26 people here that we had today. We had great men who trained with us all year, and on behalf of the panel, I'd like to thank those players now. But finally, for the second time in 3 years, we owe great thanks to 3 great men, Considine, Mac and the great Loughnane. Party Part 2. 3 cheers for Tipperary. Hip hip. Hip hip. Hip hip. We might have Tony up here to give us a blast of a song.
I think they're winding up for that song. Second time in 3 years.
Oh, my lovely Rose of Clare, you're the sweetest girl I know. You're the queen of all the roses, like the pretty flowers that grow. You are the sunshine of my life, so beautiful and fair, and I will always love you, my lovely Rose of Clare.
Tony Considine and Clare are celebrating. Well, they might. What a scene. What a party they'll have.
And what a game of hurling that was. Certainly one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting hurling final I've witnessed here at Croke Park over the years. We're going to take a short commercial break. Back after that to talk about that final.
you're always a winner with Munster's #1 in ceramics, Midwest Tiles. Ennis, Nina and Limerick.
Each Kellogg's Rice Krispie is carbohydrate crammed. To help keep me going through lunch. They're 99%
fat-free.
So even this little exercise
is good for you.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies, much more than snap,
crack.
Traders, who's the winning team in the Midlands and the West? Mangan's Keen Cost, that's who. Mangan's Cash and Carry, the #1 trade supplier in the Midlands and the West.
Look it up, check it out. The Red Book for what's available in your area. The business and shopping guide that's used nationwide by thousands. It's guaranteed Irish.
Dear Tesco, now that you've arrived at Quinsworth, I hope you'll keep
things we like, you know?
like Irish products.
Dr. O'Brien.
Very important.
And having the crack with Frankie the Butcher.
We're talking to customers all over Ireland about the things you'd like us to keep and the changes you'd like us to make.
When I come home...
These ready-made meals taste great.
He loves them, so...
What about the Tesco Club card?
Call the Tesco Talk line and tell us how we can make shopping even better for you.
Just keep the prices
down.
Ever seen a yogurt fly?
Oh, it's a splash landing!
Give them a splashing time with Kellogg's Rice Krispies.
It's very nice to go traveling to Paris, London and Rome. It's oh so nice to go traveling, but it's so much nicer, yes, it's so much nicer to come home.
You're welcome back again to Croke Park. So the All Ireland Hurling Final has been won brilliantly and lost narrowly. What a match that was, to repeat once again. Now, before we do anything else here on the programme, let's go to Jim Carney. He has some Clare people to talk to. And first of all, Sean McMahon, the centre back.
Well, in a delighted dressing room under the Hogan stand before they faced that hazardous journey across the pitch. Emotion charged it is across the pitch, but this is an emotion charged room too, and a wonderful atmosphere as Sean McMahon, a man who stood tall for Clare today. Sean, you won one before, but this is so sweet too.
Yeah, Jim, this is the sweetest we've ever had, and it didn't look good there for a while, but we held tough today and we trained very hard, and today was the day we just were not going to lose it today. You know, we had our minds out from the start and there was no way we were going to beat.
And for 70 minutes it was hard and fast.
Oh, for the full 70 minutes, yeah, it was tough going, and fair play to Tip, like, they made a great match of it too, but we're just delighted we got there in the end, you know.
Sean, many congratulations to you. You said to me a minute ago, talk to this man. He said he was a man for Clare today.
That's right. Colin Lynch has been unbelievable all year, and he's kept away from everybody, but I think today is his day now, and he's well deserves a few words.
Colin Lynch, come in and talk to us, and talk to the people of Lissy Casey. What have you to say to them?
Well, they'll have a good week this week anyway, so they'll be looking forward to this.
Colin, you're wearing the scars of battle. How hard was it for you?
It was a tough game. You'd expect All Ireland's to be tough, and that's the way it was. It was a great tough game, so it was.
And hard and fast, scores coming one on top of the other.
One on top of the other. It was inty and stuff. It was brilliant to watch. It was brilliant to play in, but a better result.
You saw an awful lot of ball around the middle of the field.
Oh, I saw it anyway. It was flying around the place. And we did what we had to do for Clare, and that's all that counts.
And Ollie Baker played a hard game too.
Ollie had a super match. A brilliant man to be beside. Couldn't be beside a better man.
What about Michael O'Halloran at the back?
What can you say? We've got the best backs in the country. They proved it today, so they did again.
Well done to you, Colin. Many congratulations. Michael, come and have a word with us. Happy day for you, Michael.
Yeah, super day. Again, we were happy enough with our performance at the back. We were caught for the 2 goals. One of them, I think we all thought it was a square ball. We'll wait to see the replay. And the second one was just one of those things. I mean, we got it in 95. Ball came back off the crossbar, and it happened. But I mean, the lads dug deep. I mean, we kept on winning breaking ball in midfield, and the breaking ball came to James in. No better man in that position to throw over for you.
And Brian and Frank beside you, Liam outside you, and Shawnee.
Well, I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's been well proved at this stage, and I mean, no words of mine could describe it.
Well done to you, Michael. Gerard O'Loughlin, Sparrow, come and talk to us. It was another happy day for you.
Oh yeah, it was probably the happiest to beat Tip twice in the 1 year is what we strive towards after the Munster final, and you know, it looked very dodgy for a lot of the game, but it was one of these days. Gerald Grant said to us at half time there would be a point in it at the end of the game, and it would take a deep reserve to go and win the game, and I think that's the way it transpired. We had to fight very, very hard. We missed a lot of chances, forwards missed a lot of chances on the day. The win probably had a bearing factor on it, but in saying that, we still got 19 or 20 points, which is a great score any day, and I think it was James that said it before the game, if we get 20 scores we'd win the game, and funny enough that's the way it worked out.
Gerard, very well done to you. You knew days when that weren't so good as this, but you've had a couple of great ones in the last few years.
Yeah, I suppose now was nearly the time to go. We can't go up any further, so I don't know. Yeah, we did. We knew a lot of bad days, but look, it's brilliant for the people at Clare and people all over the world that follow Clare hurling, and we're proud for ourselves and our families, and we're certainly proud for Clare.
Gerard, we know what Gerard Loughnane and Mike have done. What about this man, Tony Considine?
Tony's been brilliant. Tony has nurtured a lot of these guys right up from junior and minor and under 21, and he has seen the potential of a lot of them that probably went unnoticed, and as I say, he's nurtured them right up along, you know, and he's certainly not short of the odd bar of a song as well when we need him, you know.
You did him proud. Well done, Gerard.
Thanks.
I just want a word with Tony Considine himself, a man who has helped us here this evening get these players in from their supporters who want to meet them in their thousands. Tony, happy day, and big men stood big today.
Well, a fantastic day for Clare hurling. I think I was here in '93 when Galway and Kilkenny were both in minor and senior, and my son was out with me. It was the last day of the old Cusick stand, and he said to me, Dad, he said, wouldn't it be great if Clare were just in the minor All Ireland? And here we are, 4 years on, and we have both of them won. It's a fantastic day for Clare hurling. I think actually it's the hardest All Ireland that was ever won. We beat Cork, we beat Kerry first, we beat Cork, we beat Tipperary, we beat Kilkenny, and we beat Tipperary again. Now, there was a lot of talk about front doors and back doors, but Tipperary forgot about the trap door, is which what we said today.
I know you don't wish to single out individuals, Tony, but James O'Connor took responsibility today when scores were desperately badly needed.
Well, I think, Jim, at different parts of the match, players took different responsibilities, and that's what this team is all about. And I have to pay a tribute here to our physical trainer, Mike Mack. The team were in tremendous shape, and Mike is probably the best physical trainer in the country, and he has proved it now with 2 All-Irelands in 3 years, and that's a fantastic achievement for Mike Mack as well.
Well done to you, Tony Considine. And I'm just going to swivel round here for a very good... Tony, you want a quick word?
And I just say hello to a brother of mine in London that's ill at the moment, and he's watching this game in some place in London. He just couldn't make it over today. That's Michael Considine in London. I hope you enjoyed the match. And Mike, we're doing it for you.
And nice to think of the people who are ill. But Anthony Daly, the captain, is here. Anthony Daly, another glory day for Clare.
Good day, all right. Good day, all right. We're delighted with the victory. 2 All-Irelands in 3 years. It's great. I don't know, will we do 3 in 4 years? I doubt it.
And like them all, Anthony, this was hard won.
Oh, gee, it was an awful battle altogether. We seemed as if we were going into control there in the second half, and I was beginning to not feel comfortable, but I was just saying we have it now, and all of a sudden then Tip got the first goal, and gee, it was an awful battle near to the second goal, and I would have settled for a draw there with a couple of minutes to go, but the little wizard Jamesy pops up with the winner, and you know, I know from Mackley Matran, he'd drive you mad, he'd break your heart, like if he gets a chance he'll score it. So I said, go on now, James, and straight over they put it, you know.
Your supporters today, Anthony, once again it was a sea of Clare colours and Clare feeling.
Yeah, magnificent people altogether, like, you know, there's nowhere like Clare in the country as far as we're concerned, and you know, for everything, like for a holiday, for anything, like there's nowhere like Clare, and the people just see Ennis, Clarecastle, all the places around Ennis, 6 Mile Bridge, these places all last week, and the colour, magnificent, like, and it gave the players a lift. And heading off this morning, it was all banners and flags and bunting, and like, it's brilliant for us, and we're delighted to be bringing it home again tomorrow night.
Very well done to you, Anthony Daly. Magnificent captain and a magnificent achievement. Well done, the hurlers of Clare. Now, Michael McNamara, come in and talk to us. Known simply as Mike Mack. And Mike Mack, Tony Considine has put into words what you meant to Clare and to Gerlochnan as well. So how do you feel?
Well, it's a great day. We're after having 3 marvellous years since we started this thing. Tony and Jeremy have got together and a bunch of lads. And I think Anthony mentioned there in his speech, the lads, we had 6 other fellas training apart from the 26 here. I think it's a great day for them as well. And I want them to know that we're a real part of it.
Mike, what about training for these fellas? They're magnificent specimens as athletes, and they're only amateur sportsmen.
Well, we'll have a look in the morning and we'll see how fit they are in the morning, and we'll decide on what training programme we'll work out for the weekend.
Mike, thanks very much indeed. And like all Clare hurlers and Clare mentors, congratulations to you. Magnificently well done.
Thank you indeed.
Yes, I'd say some of them wouldn't be in the greatest of shape in the morning, but nonetheless they're entitled to their celebration tonight, tomorrow, and for the rest of this week. However, one has to have a feeling for Tipperary at this point as well. Losing that match by just a single point, it could have gone anyway. Marty Morrissey is with some of them now.
Well, the mood isn't as good over at this side of Croke Park. Paul Shelley and Conal Bonner joins me. Paul, disappointing, particularly heartbreaking, I'm sure, to lose by just 1 point.
That's right, Marty. That's the way things go. We were thereabouts up to the end of it, and they just pipped us on the line. Like they had to come back in the second half, and then we had to come back, and we got ahead, and they came back level, and then went a point ahead, and that's just the way games go.
Did you think at half time that, first of all, that you were performing quite well, and that you were halfway at least there?
Well, I knew we were performing well, Marty, but I knew we had to go out and give another up our performance by another 100%, but we just Clare came out in the second half and they were just firing their bellies, and they just went at us, and they brought us back bit by bit, and they went ahead, and then we came back, and just at the end of it they pipped us.
Conal Bonner, we can reveal now indeed that you played with a broken finger.
Well, in the poker round before the game, went to catch a ball, and I heard a click on my small finger, so it started swelling up and it was fairly sore, so I figured it wasn't anything good anyway.
But you still played well despite that hinderment.
Well, it's only your small finger, so you can strap it up or whatever.
For Tipperary, Conal, to come back into this All-Ireland final and to play Clare, there was a lot of talk in Tipperary that they hadn't performed well in the Munster final. So how difficult was it to just get your act together?
It's not difficult at all. Like, everybody is a proud hurler out there, and they want to go out and do their best. That's what we wanted to do today. We wanted to go out and do our very best, and made the best team win after that, you know.
I'm sure you thought at one stage that this was going to end a draw.
Yeah, it was looking like that, but I was glad Johnny had a shot for a goal to try and win it, you know, because it would have been very hard to go out and do that for another 17 minutes.
Well, you performed in one of the best games of hurling ever seen. Is it any consolation at all?
No, not really. Day before the game, you know, everyone very nervous, and Colin was saying, we're just going up to the room to relax, and he was saying, wake me up when it's half 1. I says, wake me up when it's half 6.
Well, Paul Shelley and Conal Bonner, thank you both very much for joining us.
Thanks, Martin.
Well, I suppose, as you would expect, sombre faces there from the Tipperary players, but certainly they have nothing to be ashamed of in the way that they played and performed today. Cyril Farrell, I'm sure you would agree with that.
Yeah, fantastic game of hurling. Now, Clare took it to Tipperary took it to Clare early on. I had to do that. Clare made a great start the second half. Liam Doyle, Sean McMahon came right into the game. Full backline were always steady. Ollie Baker, Colin Lynch. Lynch has been the find of the season, really. The find is Ollie Baker was back to himself, probably the best game he ever played. And up front, they started knocking over, and eventually James came right into it. And again, they're always talking about their attack, but they knocked over 20 points against today. You know, at one stage it looked like there was going to be a draw. Here's Johnny Leahy, lovely cross ball. This is one of the goals, and this is debatable whether he was in the square or not. But Liam Caldemy just caught the edge of the square, turned and kicked. I think it was a great goal. He was just on the edge of the square and went up for it. To me, he wasn't in the square. Another long one coming in here. This Tommy Dunn had a right good game as well. Dropped this actually hit the crossbar, came back out and there, back of the net. Eugene O'Neill, very much like young Taft from Clare the last day, and this put Tipperary into the driving seat. But fair dues to Clare, they came back down and got a score straight away.
We see the thing about this, Tomas, is like Tipperary got all the breaks that you could ask for when they needed them, like 2 goals, and yet Clare managed to steady themselves and come back again.
Yeah, I think the crucial thing was the second goal that they got. Clare came down the field straight after and got a point. The introduction in the second half of David Ford, he had an excellent second half. He got 2 brilliant points, and him coming into the game shook up a lot of the other Clare forwards, and they actually done the good thing of adding to his tally when he came on, because he was a tremendous asset when he came on.
James O'Connell, we talked about him at half-time. He was having a relatively quiet game. In the end, he scored 12 points from play and from frees, and the winning point, of course. We'll have a look at that in a second. We're just talking about David Ford. This was another one of his scores.
Yes, and as I say, that's the strength in Clare's team. Their panel, I mean, to say that PJ O'Connell would be taken off today, and Fergie too, and 2 substitutes come into play, and the contribution that David Ford makes at the end, it was immense, and that is the strength that they have in their panel. They were able to bring guys off the bench that did the business.
And just to come back to Jamesy, as I was saying, those 7 points that he scored, and that winning point, and what a point that was.
It was a tremendous score, and I mean, he was quiet, I have no doubt about that. Here we see it, and this is what he does best, off his left hand on the run. And obviously, at the end of the day, Tipperary had no answer to that. It was a great winning point for Clare. You have to feel sorry for Tipperary, and maybe for John Lahey at the end. You know, I mean, he had a chance for goal and went for it, and unfortunately it was blocked.
Cyril, David Fitzgerald has pulled off magnificent saves for Clare in the championship up to this date. By golly, he did it again today.
Yeah, pound for pound. This John takes a great shot here, but he actually hits the ground very near him. And Davy is alert to dives and tips it out for, like, it's tipped out, actually goes out for a 65 after this. But like, if that went into the net, there's no doubt about it, Tipperary would win it. But Davy, like, pound for pound, he's probably the smallest goalkeeper in the game, but never takes his eye off the ball. This actually goes across him here, just gets down, goes right across, blocks on his right hand side, and not only does he block, but parries it away as well, and it's cleared. If that went in, Michael, I have no doubt the Tip would have won the game. John, a lot of people say, "Hi, didn't go for the point," but good forwards really. He went for broke, went to win the All Ireland, and he came up Davy on form. So they can thank Davy and Clare tonight.
Well, Cyril, watching that particular move through the binoculars up the field, I mean, he was right in front of the goal. He had to go for his goal chance, and it looked like he couldn't possibly miss. Fitzgerald really got down on it.
Yeah, well, Davy's the top goalie, but like, to be fair to John Lee, he took him very quick. Like, he had a look at him, had time. He may have hit the ball too near himself. He takes the sting out of the ball. He did it off the ground, which probably is the right thing to do. If it's stuck in the net, he's the hero. He'll have plenty saying tonight, "Oh, John, why'd you tap it over the bar?" But good players will go for broke. It's an All Ireland final, and if he did tap it over the bar, of course, to be a draw. David will be a hero in Clare tonight. Like, and he's a very popular character anyway. This is going to even make him more popular again.
Tomás Mulcahy, they have taken 2 All Ireland titles in 3 years. They're entitled to call themselves a great team now.
I've no doubt about it, and I mean, they'd probably talk about last year's one as well, right? That got away from them, but on back of a minor win today and the senior team, I mean, Clare they're on top of the pile. They've set the standards. They're a team that everybody has to catch up and try and beat at this stage, and you have to give them credit. I mean, on the day, they didn't play fantastic hurling to me on the day, the way they are capable of playing, but at the end of the day, they knuckled down. They came back out in the second half, and they started very, very, very well. And that was a crucial part for me. They got 3 points without reply just after half-time, brought them back into the game slowly, and we've seen them finish very, very strongly. We were talking about them a couple of weeks ago that they finished very, very poorly. Today, when it mattered most, they finished very, very strong.
And a word, Cyril, about Tipperary. After the Munster final, they reckoned they were a better team than that. They knew they were going to have to be to continue in the championship, and they were a better team today.
You'd have to give credit to them. Like, after the Munster final, they fell down, and in Tipperary there was a kind of a low feeling that this team weren't good enough. And Lynn and the boys got together, made 4 or 5 personal changes, and got their act together. Played double in the league game, then played down the championship, and went on then to win the, to get back into the All Ireland final again, beating Wexford here. And like, that Tip team today lost nothing. I know they've lost in All Ireland and they'll feel very down and out, but they haven't lost anything in the honour of Tipperary hurling. They played their hearts out, got goals, as Tomás said, at the right time. Other days they win for them, like, and there's still a lot of hurling left in them lads, even though they will be very sad tonight, because it's a fact of life at this level. Like, the winner takes it all, and like, there's a terrible difference between a winning dressing room and a losing dressing room.
You know, Sarah, what it's like to have taken Galway to 2 All Ireland titles at the close of the 80s. Can this Clare team motivate themselves one more time now? Is this an era that we're seeing topped here?
Yeah, I think they're going to go for I was going to say 3 in a row, but 3 in 4 years. There's no doubt about that. It'll not depend on the Munster draw, but like, they have a fairly settled side. I think they unsettled them at the start today, as Tomás saying. They did a lot of switching up front that didn't work. They unsettled them, but yet they won. And they have lads coming off the bench. Today, like, Colin Lynch came of age. Baker was back to himself. Young Ford comes on, gets 2 or 3 points from play, like, and then James does the job. They have that kind of, they have the 19 or 20 players now, and they've worked hard on them, like. And with Mike Mack and them around, like, okay, they'll celebrate during the winter. He'll have them buckling down again, and if the draw comes nice for them, like, they're going to be there or thereabouts. Yeah. As Tomás said earlier on, they feel they should have won last year. So, like, they've won 2 out of 3, and I don't think it's right to let it pass. Kevin Kendi and his men, it's an historic occasion, like, that they've won their first minor title. 2 All Irelands going to Clare, unbelievable.
That's absolutely brilliant. Cyril Farr, Tomás Mulcahy, thank you very much for joining us here on the programme. And on that note, we leave it from Croke Park, and a day we've seen a fantastic All Ireland hurling final. But we do so with an invitation for you to join us later on tonight on the Sunday game, when we'll be reviewing that match, showing you the highlights again, further analysis of the game, and of course naming our man of the match from this year's All Ireland hurling final. So congratulations to Clare and senior and in minor from all of us at Croke Park for the moment. Bye-bye.
Agus se heb Brian Bino McMahon, agus anach down o Brian Bino, ordeirach de Stacha John Cole. Agus Glan Stacha agus Cole on the Huntach line. Cole the Huntach line and lawn the sack, goal on Magnus, the story behind Chicken Campson.
Great catch by Declan Ryan. Wonderful distribution out to Lahey. The old firmer at it again, and that's gone over the bar. Up it goes towards Gilligan's corner once again. He's top of the left. He's on Paul Shelley. An angle shot, and that's gone over. 2 in a row for Gilligan. Again, Ford coming forward, looking for another one. Great pace. Little off balance, he was hitting it, but he puts it over the bar. And it's 2 points now for David Ford. Lahey again over there contesting. Gets the break of the ball back down to him from Tommy Dunn. John Lahey looking for his first score of...
Late this evening, but touchdown at Shannon a short time ago. Our correspondent Kathy Halloran watched the fans getting ready to welcome home their heroes.
It's sweet victory on the double for County Clare this year as their minor and senior teams create a piece of hurling history. The Clare senior team have come home with the McCarthy Cup for the second time in 3 years. The minor team have won the All Ireland title for the first time, and it's also the first time for a double victory for the county. And tonight it was an opportunity for thousands of loyal fans to salute their hurling heroes. Despite promises of cold, windy weather, they turned out in huge numbers at Shannon Airport to welcome the boys home on the first leg of their trip of victory, which will take them through great hurling localities like Newmarket and Fergus, Clarecastle and on to Ennis for a civic reception by the county and urban councils.
And Tipperary fans were out to welcome their county team as the players arrived back in Thurles this evening. The finalists, selectors and friends travelled from Dublin by train.
Hundreds of Tipperary fans turned out in the rain to welcome their team back to the Premier County after yesterday's 1-point defeat by Clare. The weather may have called for clichés, but the team and their manager Len Gaynor were just happy to be back in Thurles.
Glad to be back, Len.
Sure, glad to be back home.
Well done, well done.
As the players signed autographs, Archbishop Dermot Clifford, who's patron of the GAA, said the team had done themselves proud in what was an enthralling game. Were you praying for victory one way or the other?
Well, I was hoping that Tip would win yesterday, because I know these lads very well, and I felt it's their turn. Clare won 2 years ago, and after all, Clare had won the Munster title, so Tip, I thought, might win the All-Ireland one.
An open-top bus carried the players to Liberty Square in the centre of Thurles. Tip fans were adamant that their team will be back as champions next year. And if the players can reproduce some of the form they showed in this campaign, it may just happen.
And it's been a big day for the tiny island of Inishturk.